Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of From the Fourth Line, presented by Offside News. My name's Emma, and I'm joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Marcie.
Hello.
I know it's been a while. We didn't have an episode go up on Thursday, but if you missed it, which if you did, I don't know how you did
Where
miss
have
it.
you been?
Where have you been? We did have the wonderful opportunity to sit down with Victoria Bach from the Ottawa Charge and have an interview. I kept calling it a casual conversation in the email that I sent her and the text message and like all the text messages and everything that we were exchanging. But it was wonderful to talk
You're
to.
so nice.
She was so nice. We had a great time. But if you haven't yet gone and listened to it, I highly recommend it. There's some really fun stories that she tells. She provides a lot of insight onto her as a player, onto her career, and also tells some fun little tidbits. My personal favorite story that she told involves Haley Wickenheiser. So
Yeah.
that's a great one. But also, she did shout out the Bowl jersey during it. It was just, there's so many fun little moments in that I think you guys definitely should go and check out. Please
Yeah.
go listen to it. It was so fun to do.
New best friend of the show.
Yeah, new best friend of the show, Victoria Bach, as she and the rest of the Ottawa Charge hunt down a playoff spot.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Like, they have a game in hand over Minnesota and are 2 points back last time I checked in the standings over the weekend. So especially they had a big win against New York on Saturday afternoon. And then have another big game against New York that can put them into a playoff spot tomorrow at home at TD.
Ooh.
Yeah. Speaking of TD, I'm going to get this out of the way before we spend a long time talking about a lot of Leafs games we have to catch up on. Part of the reason why there was no episode on Thursday was because I spent the weekend at TD Arena providing coverage. If you missed my coverage of the tournament, again, you should probably go follow me on Twitter because I was tweeting about it like crazy.
You went crazy.
But I was providing some coverage for the U Sports Men's U Cup, which is just a national championship in men's hockey. It was being hosted by the University of Ottawa, so it was being held at TD Arena. And sorry, it's crazy. I'm still like trying to like work through the emotions because I've had such a crazy weekend of covering the whole tournament. It was full of some incredible stories. I am working on something written for the tournament for the GG's win. They did win the national title, the first national title in program history, going into the tournament as the 8th seed and doing like biggest upset in the first game. Like, just it was a crazy weekend. It was a fantastic weekend. Again, congratulations to the University of Ottawa GG's men's hockey team. They put out some stellar performances. The highlight one of the weekend, and this is not even me being biased, as you know, guys know we love goalies on this show, but Ottawa's goaltender, Frankie LaPenna, was named tournament MVP, and rightfully so.
He should.
He put up some stellar games for the GGs all weekend long. And also, I will say, because I did have the opportunity to, talk to him in a couple of post-game scrums, the nicest guy ever. He's so nice and so funny. And absolutely just a riot. And he's got that like goalie swagger about him too, which is just great.
That's so girly.
Yeah, literally.
I said our. Your goalie, but ours.
Honorary GG.
Yes.
But yeah, they won the national tournament. It was crazy. It was a great weekend, but the tournament started on Thursday, and that's why there was no Thursday show for a myriad of other reasons, but that was the main one. But yeah, so congratulations to the GGs. I feel like I want to talk about, like, we could do a whole show on that tournament because that tournament was absolutely insane. Yeah. There are some crazy stories there. I have a radio show on Wednesday that is going to be basically entirely about the tournament as well. But I also am working on a piece about it that will go up hopefully sometime early this week. It will be sometime this week, hopefully sooner than later. We will see. I feel like I need to sleep for 10,000 years, and I also still have like classes going on and other commitments. But yeah, that being said, yeah, once again, congratulations to GG's. Go GG's.
Good cheese.
But yeah, but that being said, we can move on to talk about the Leafs. We have a week full of games to talk about because we did not have a Thursday episode. Um, so I guess we can open up with Calgary game on Monday, St. Patrick's Day. The Leafs were in their St. Pat's jerseys, which is my favorite tradition.
Love them.
It's my favorite tradition. Joseph Wool getting the start against Dustin Wolf, which is always a tough matchup. Goalie, just in the fact of like their names are like one letter apart.
Yeah.
It's a struggle sometimes. But I will say, like, my general consensus about the game, Toronto was the more dominant team. They were from puck drop. And I think a lot of people will look at the box scores and be like, well, it was tied coming out of one, like 1-1. Yeah, Dustin Wolf kept Calgary in the game through the first period.
He was put to work. It was good.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Good for him. I also have written down here that he's an obvious Calder nominee this season. I think we've said this all season long that Dustin Wolf is Calder worthy. He should absolutely be nominated at the bare minimum, but I do think there is a definite strong argument for awarding him the Calder. I think a lot of people are like, oh, especially, if the Flames make the playoffs, blah, 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 blah. But I think like regardless, there's a strong argument for him to win the Calder this season. So yeah, I think people like underestimate how hard it is to be a goaltender and how hard it is to be a rookie goaltender playing as well as Dustin Wolf has been playing. I feel like we're about to sound really hypocritical because he did get pulled in this game against Toronto, but like this first period, he kept the Flames in this game because they were getting outshot, outchanced. I think after one, like the high danger scoring chances were like 10-1 for the Leafs or something like that. If I remember that stat correctly, I saw it somewhere. It's been a week. But yeah, just like Toronto, yeah. And through the rest of this game as well, just the other big note, we have a bunch of games to get through, so I don't want to take too much time talking about each individual one and like breaking them all down and stuff like that. But the Toronto's power play in this game was firing on all cylinders, having 3 power play goals, 2 from Austin Matthews, 1 from William Nylander, just clicking.
It was just so fun. It was so good to watch.
It was a great game to watch. It was a great one to watch because I had invited my friend Regan over to watch the game because it was on Prime. So I was like, watch the Prime game, invite her over and watch on my big TV and everything. And it was just like the whole night we're going like, we picked the perfect game to watch because it was a good, strong Leafs win. They played well. The new guys who were added to the lineup also had really solid games as well, and Carlo and Lawton, which we can talk about Carlo a little bit later. We can talk about Carlo a little bit later, and just in terms of like what he's brought to the table for the Leafs because it's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also in this game, I also want to highlight because Max Domi opened the scoring for the Leafs, and Bobby McMann also got a goal as well. The third line of McMann, Domi, and Robertson is so interesting, and I think we've spent so much time talking about this line.
Yeah.
Before in the past. Because it's weird. It's a weird line because when you look at it in a bigger context, it's like, yeah, this line makes sense. But also when you look at it, you're still like, does this line make sense?
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking that I don't know how it clicks, it works. And I even was saying today to someone that like the uh uh that Max Domi, like I still don't love him as your third line center.
No.
Uh Sorry, I'm having to reply to a message real quick. Um yeah, just he like I still don't love Max Domi, but he is one of those weird players that had a really successful junior career, but just in the NHL doesn't quite have it unless he's like in like this really specific situation in terms of like really specific line mates or really specific like archetype of player that he has to be on a line with.
Yeah.
And it's like it's kind of been the story of his career. It was like that when he was in Montreal, it was like that when he was in Dallas, and it's like if that team that he's joining doesn't have those types of players, then he just doesn't work out. Whereas like but also he's not like superstar enough of a player. He's not that much of a game changer that you can rationalize building a line around, like dedicating the personnel to build a line around him or dedicating,
Yeah.
you know, to for you know what I mean? So it's like it's so interesting. And the thing is also as well as like the Leafs want to use McMahon higher up in the lineup with Max Pacioretty out, right? They want to put him on that second line with Tavares and Nylander. So then you're taking that away, and then you're trying to then you want to slot Scott Laughton in as your third line center because that's what you acquired him. That's the role you acquired him to fill, was that third line role. But then um but then Domi doesn't quite work out on that wing with it, just that doesn't quite click as much, especially offensively. Or it's like people are saying, oh, why don't you try splitting up Matthews and Marner and putting Domi up there? But that doesn't work because that's way out. Like Domi just looks way up too much like a fish out of water in that situation. And it's like this weird thing where it's like, no, but like where Max Domi, weirdly enough, is most effective is on that third line with Bobby McMahon and Nick Robertson. Now, today in practice, I'm jumping ahead a little bit in that situation, but today in practice, Berube had Domi still as third line center, but had Scott Laughton on his left wing and had moved Bobby McMahon up to the second line, and Nick Robertson was still on that third line right wing. So we will see kind of what that looks like tomorrow against Philadelphia, and see kind of if that's still, if Scott Laughton is able to still like not fulfill like the Bobby McMahon role, but like is able to fit into that spot and still keep everyone else on that line as effective as they have been in certain games and things like that. So we'll see. Who knows? It'll be a test for sure, but it's just one of those things where it's like that third line to me is so interesting. And I obviously
it has its moments, but not frequently enough for us to be like, oh yeah, this works like happily.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, especially but I will say, I think I already also as well addressed that this game against Calgary was a solid game for the new guys and Carlo and Laughton and just man, Brandon Carlo.
Yeah.
Yeah. But moving on along to Saturday's game against the Colorado Avalanche. Are we already on Saturday? No, this was Wednesday against Colorado. Apologies, I don't know what day of the week it is anymore. I am so
Time isn't real.
I'm so on a different planet still. But Joseph Wool gets rewarded with playing a good game against Calgary with the start in this one against Colorado against Mackenzie Blackwood. Berube straying from the regular tandem that he'd kind of found himself into and going back and forth. Berube rewarding the hot hand. It was a, I will say though, fair warning, was watching this game while doing trivia on Wednesday night. Big trivia head over here. I'm doing it twice this week, trivia. I think. I love trivia, okay? everyone knows that I love trivia, and unfortunately, I've now garnered a reputation among my friends as someone who's good at trivia.
Oh, that's a dangerous reputation to have.
It's a dangerous reputation because it's dangerous, like because I feel like I'm setting myself up for failure, and also it's really nice to my ego
Yes.
of like, yeah.
Little Miss good at trivia.
Hey, look, one of the answers to the question was Mario Lemieux, and I got it like 3 words into the question because it mentioned retired number 66 for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I was like, I know who had, yeah,
Well,
know that one. Don't need to hear the rest of it. You don't have to tell me how many points he got in his NHL career. I know who we're
yeah,
talking about here.
I
It's
know this
Mario Lemieux.
already.
And the other one is because I watched too many firefighting procedurals that I like people were like, why do you know that? And I'm like, you don't watch 911 in Chicago Fire and know what the
Yeah,
jaws of life are?
like, okay.
It's like what are the hydraulic like what's the hydraulic tool used to excavate people from cars, like used by firefighters to excavate people from cars? I'm like, the jaws of life.
Like, well, I can tell you
Well,
that.
I watch 911 a lot.
Yeah, I watched the Gay Firefighter show. What are you gonna do about it?
Helps me out at trivia. Like, but yeah, not to anyways, doesn't matter. Um but so hence why my observations on this game might be a little bit minute. But I will say it was a strong defensive game from Toronto by the Leafs. They especially knowing how their last game against Colorado very recently, which was only a week and a half ago, was um knowing how that one went and knowing how that one ended up, having them able to shut down Colorado's star players like like I almost said McDavid, like McKinnon and Makar
McDavid to
and
the arms.
McDavid. Forget the Crosby to the Avs agenda. We're about to start McDavid to the Avs. Send him there. But yeah, just able to shut down Colorado star players, which was a big switch from their last game where it got out of hand for them. Um, and so then, yeah, just Austin Matthews. I'm not going to say Austin Matthews is like back to scoring prowess. I think it's not something. I don't know if we're going to see the Austin Matthews that we're used to this season. I'm not going to say, I will say we will maybe get a very strong version of Austin Matthews back, but I don't think we're going to get the 69 goal scorer that we're used to. I think we're going to see different aspects of his play. I think we're going to see him be a lot stronger defensively going down the stretch into the playoffs, and especially through the playoffs as well. I think we're going to see him be a little bit more of a playmaker, a little bit more. He can always drive a line, yes, absolutely, as a center. But I think we're going to see him quarterbacking goals and plays more than we're used to. Because I'm once again getting ahead of myself. I think the thing that really stood out in that aspect, and it's like, yes, he still will score goals. He still has been scoring goals, but I just think we're going to see it less from him than we have in the past.
Yeah.
He's obviously dealing with something. That's no secret. But the big one where I was like, in a different situation, we wouldn't maybe necessarily have seen it in this order, but it was against Nashville where Austin Matthews is the one setting up Mitch Marner for a one-timer. I feel like I don't have to say anything more.
No.
Like, last season, it would have been the other way around. I know it was off the face-off, but still. Last season, it would have been the other way around. It would have been Marner setting up Matthews for a one-timer. Right? And it just means then that, like, it can be a highlight to, like, Mitch Marner's ability to be a goal scorer. Because he is, at the end of the day, he can also do that. Or Matthew Knies being able to cash in on that talk about him a little bit later when we talk about New York, because I think he had a really good game against New York personally. But yeah, just those sorts of things. He did score in this one against Colorado. And then Rina Shushkin, who apparently is really good against the Leafs for some reason, scores one. But then, I'm sorry. Then this is the name of the show is From the Fourth Line. And well, may we share a glimmer of a highlight to noted Leafs fourth liner Steven Lorentz and his short-handed game-winning goal for Toronto. Incredible stuff there. And it's one of those things where a lot of people are like, well, it bounced off the ref. And sometimes, the bounces go your way. And obviously, I think we can all go back to the Chicago game where Steven Lorentz had a bounce not go his way, where his shot directly hit the end of his own broken stick.
Yep.
And here we go where the bounce does go his way. And he did describe it as a dream moment because that's a game-winning goal in Scotiabank.
Oh.
As a kid who like grew up as a Leafs fan, as a kid, just like, man, Steven Lorentz, like, buddy.
He loves being a Leaf, and we love him being a Leaf.
I don't think there's anyone who loves being a Toronto Maple Leaf right now more than Steven Lorentz. And I think we've said that so many times this season about him when we talk about him and we talk about his attitude on and off the ice and we talk about, like, he is the only guy, no matter the results of the game, no matter the situation, he comes into every media scrum with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
And, like, you'd be like, how do you know that? Because I watch a lot of media scrums and maybe like they have not given us credentials yet before people are like, did you guys no, we haven't gotten credentialed yet.
Yeah. One day it will happen.
One day we'll be getting credentialed. But yeah, just every time he does a media scrum and you watch the video and he's always ready to take the first question. He's got a smile on his face. No matter where the Leafs are in their season, no matter what win or loss streak they're on, no matter if it's after a win or after a loss, just comes in, smile on his face. He loves to be a Toronto Maple Leaf. Yeah, absolutely. Also as well, I think we should also highlight Joseph Woll faced 39 shots in this game. He stood on his head for the Leafs. That was a hell of a performance for him. Hats off to him. He's been putting together a very good stretch of games between his game against Calgary, his game against Colorado. So just incredible stuff there by Joseph Woll. Yeah. And now we're going to move into talking about the game that. Did you watch this game against New York?
No. I think I fell asleep. Yeah, this was the game where I hit like 10:30 and I was like, I'm so sleepy right now.
I didn't watch it either because I was again at U Sports Tournament and was watching. It was what, Concordia versus USask. Yeah. So
I can't believe we both missed game 69.
It's okay though. Nice. It's okay though because friend of the show Arya sent me. I very nicely asked her, being like, I don't think I'm going to be able to watch this game. Do you mind taking some notes from me? And she said, don't worry, I got you, and has sent me 5 like screenshots of notes.
Oh my.
So shout out to friend of the show Arya for coming in clutch with these big notes that
friend of the show
that I have not really looked through yet. So we're about to go through these blind and I'll just read them off and
It'll be fun for everyone.
Yeah. First period. First 5 minutes. They're all very nicely labeled as well. Stoller's rebounds are
Oh,
scaring me. This is all directly from Maria, who maybe we should have just brought her on the show to walk us through this
yeah.
game herself. But don't be shooting, question mark, after that. Berard's shot went wide, but it was close after a lost puck battle along the boards. What a snatch from Stollers on Lafreniere. Power play for Toronto after Keandre Miller tripped William Nylander. I'm actually sorry. You're gonna love what she put down for the John Tavares goal. Really good chance after the power play. Lafreniere backed his ass up into camp. Incredible stuff there. And this is quote from quote in all caps, by the way. John Tavares, you cunty diva.
Yes! Yes!
McCabe and Nylander assists. William Nylander with his 600th career point. Congratulations to William Nylander. That's what, 600 and how many games has he played?
I don't know.
William Nylander. I feel like it's going to be wrong now because I'm just going to look at his hockey DB and it's going to be like a couple games later. Yeah. 601 points in 673 games.
Oh,
Wow, William. Wow, William.
Wow.
Wow. Incredible stuff. And that includes even like his really, really slow season after his like contract holdout where he was like not playing well and never I wonder why he wasn't playing well. He is also as well, William Nylander is 2 goals away from 40 for his 3rd straight 40-goal season. William.
William. Oh.
He's got like 12 games left to do that too. William.
Oh my god.
Has Bobby McMahon not missed a game this season?
Queen.
No, sorry, it's Morgan Riley. It was Morgan Riley. I was like, I thought it was
still Queen.
I was misreading the names. I was about to be like, no, I was like, Bobby McMahon definitely has missed games. Hold on. But yeah. Incredible stuff. Really solid shift around the 3-minute left mark in the first. William Borgen gets a goal, a snipe with less than a minute left in the first. Stollers did not see that because the defense did not let him. Got screened by your own defense. Classic. Hello, Bobby. And then it from her, it says, I was just typing out how Toronto had a great period literally until that Rangers goal, and then McMahon scored. So Bobby McMahon. Big fan Bobby McMahon. That puts him at 19 goals this season, which is already like he's already passed a career high for himself because last year he had 15. But he is now I guess you could say 15, 20 goal scorer. More than. There's still quite a few games left this season, so what a great story though, Bobby McMahon. And I feel like we've said that 30,000 times.
Oh yeah. We love Bobby McMahon.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it has anything to with
I've just gone onto my Twitter and searched every time I've tweeted McMahon.
We talk about Bobby McMahon a lot.
Oh no, there's more. There's more.
We talk about Bobby McMahon so much.
I think I might like Bobby McMahon.
Do you think though that like maybe we like not jinxed him but like gave him a little bit of boost by awarding him Blorbo of the Year? Speaking of Blorbo of the Year, we are now going to, I should have put this at the top of the show where I should put more important things instead of about halfway through.
That's fine.
But I'll do it here and then I'll tweet about it as well. We are taking nominations for Blorbo of the Year. This time we're opening up. Why do you have your face like that?
I'm just gonna. New Jersey
I was about
forfeit
to
it,
say,
sorry.
oh, I was about to say, I was like, who got traded? And then I remembered, no, wait, it's past the trade deadline. That can't happen anymore.
I'm like
Sending me.
giggling and kicking my feet.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah. It's fine. I'm normal. I'm so normal. We're just like having a moment.
Anyways, but yeah, we are opening the Florida nominations for Blower of the Year. At the end of the day, we do
Yes.
get final say, but we do want to get some variety, because if it was our way, it would be another Leaf, and that's a little bit biased of us. So we're opening the floor to everyone being able to nominate their own Blurbo of the Year. No, the only thing is, because we're from the fourth line, we're specializing in bottom six Blurbos, aka they are guys who they don't necessarily have to be fourth line forwards, but they're routinely, for the most part of their season. And if you try to pull a fast one over us and be like, well, one game, so and so, even though they normally play on the top line, so and so was playing in the bottom six. I know quite, like, I can tell. Don't underestimate my hockey knowledge. Don't underestimate our hockey knowledge, I should say, as well. But
we know our blobbers.
and also, as well, unfortunately, we are going to have to limit it to the NHL, just for like ease of simplicity of like actually knowing the players and being able to like be like, yeah, well deserved. But yeah, we'll have final say on the Blurbos, but like open the Florida nominations, they have to. I think I set the number in and around 10, 15 NHL games this season. I think I maybe have put more. I think maybe it was 15 or 20 NHL games they would have had to play in this season. Primarily on the third or fourth line or bottom defense pair. And that literally, I think, is the only other, and also must exemplify Blorbo characteristics. But I think that is like the only, like, yeah, no, I think that's, also as well, backup goalies count. Submit your
Yes,
backup
we
goalies.
do.
Doesn't have to be
Because
position
we
player.
love
Submit
our
your backup
goalies.
goalies.
Love your
Submit
goalies.
your backup goalies. But yeah, I think those are the parameters, those are the rules that I put in the Google form. The Google nomination form, it's going to be a Google form, spoiler alert, but the nomination form will be in the show notes, and also I'll tweet it out, because I'm sure I've put this halfway through an episode that people are going to miss it. So, but submit your Blurbo of the Year, and maybe he will take home the coveted prize of Blurbo of the Year.
I'm ready to make the Canva graphic. I'm warming myself up.
But yeah, as we go into the second period of this Leafs and Rangers game, our Tammy Panarin ties the game because of a not so great rebound. Thank you. Again, shout out to Arya for these. These are great. William Nylander comes very close to scoring. John Tavares scores his second of the game, putting him on Hattie watch. Also, his 1100th career NHL point, putting him in like 68th overall. Like, I know he's 68th ranked in points for NHL players, behind like Claude Giroux, who he will not be. That's going to be a hard one to pass, because like Claude Giroux still very much playing hockey for the Ottawa Senators right now.
Yep.
Love you, Claude.
We know.
And that is all within the first 5 minutes of the period.
Crazy stuff.
There's a little bit of a scrum after a Stolar's save, and a pretty solid pace from both teams with about 10 minutes left. Simon Benoit has a great play disrupting Chris Kreider and not taking a penalty. Keandre Miller, I don't know if this Keandre Miller or if this is JT Miller.
Oh shit, yeah. One of
I'm
them.
going to assume that because she was like previously when talking about Keandre Miller had referred to him as Key, which is his nickname, and we have not had a mention of JT Miller yet, then maybe this is about JT Miller. She's gonna listen to this and have such a laugh.
She's gonna be like, you guys.
But Miller bumped Stoley. I'm assuming now it's just as Knies and Fox. What the hell with like the crying emojis, like the full tears crying emojis, that maybe they got into it a little bit with each other. Matthew Knies then has an incredible shot. I have seen the replay for this one. He scores a great one from the slot, and it's just like gross. Shesterkin literally never saw it because Austin Matthews provides the screen. I will say Anthony Stolarz was asked about Matthew Knies' shot today in immediate availability, and he said that it's very good and very scary, and that the release is really similar to Matthews, in which it's hard to read coming off the stick, which incredible stuff.
Things we love to hear.
And then also proceeded to go like, well, he's also a very strong net front presence because he's big and large.
Like, yeah, tell me something I don't know.
Tell me analysis we haven't already provided, Anthony Stolarz.
Like big, large, needs to be paid.
We know. There's not really any penalties aside from the Rangers one early in the game. Final minute, nothing really. Leafs up 4-2. Rangers, I really want you to make the playoffs, but I don't want you to win this game. That's not fair. Intermission thought. We need Bobby McMann on the second line forever.
Yes, agreed.
Then there's a note here of, I really do not understand why we have Lawton on the fourth line after giving up a first in Gurbankin to get him. What the fuck are we doing? A non-event game for Dummy Line. Yeah, dog, they are not doing much of anything. Get Lawton up there. Which, your wish has been answered. We were just talking about it. Your wish has been answered. All right, there we go. The Leafs got lucky. Cooley missed a pass. Fourth line better than the third. I think it's basically being deployed like a third line, but I do not know for sure. Lorenz keep driving to that net, sweetie. Incredible stuff. Can occasionally hear Stolarz talking to guys. LOL. Yeah, Stolarz, very loud, talkative goalie. Joseph Wool apparently second to most guys. Like, it's so funny when like position players on the Leafs get asked about like how talkative Stolarz and Wool are, because it basically comes down to, yeah, Stolarz is the most talkative goalie I've ever played with. Joseph Wool is number 2 though.
Yeah. Our little yappers.
They really do be yapping all the time. And it's unfortunate all the time. Like during intermissions, they're yapping to each other on the bench and stuff, like TV timeouts and everything. Except not this game, because New York Rangers, like MSG puts the visiting backup goalie and like behind the glass. Like he is just trapped.
He's jailed.
He's jailed. They've put him in an aquarium.
Don't bang on the glass, you'll scare him.
What a save by Stolarz on Fox. Panarin mad as hell at Tanev. God, that second line is so sexy. What a chance, man. Stolarz, your rebounds just keep scaring me. Just saw Joseph in the corner all alone watching the game. Penalty on Knies. Girl, this is not the time for that. I do not trust the PK. Stolarz' mask came off because of that Mika Zibanejad shot. I've missed camp on the PK. MSG is booing them. Oh boy, surviving the power play. That was a kind of nothing. Another Rangers giveaway. McMahon had a near breakaway against Shesterkin. Thank you for covering that rebound from that Zibanejad shot. Stolarz, I was going to get scared again. Domi shot. Shesterkin had to make quite the save there. Dear God. The way the second line has had 2 3-on-2s this period. Rangers empty netting. Stolarz again. Both of those were in all caps, by the way. These are tired and just iced it. Rangers timeout. Oh, thank God they got a change. 1 minute left. Rangers score and are within 1. Kreider is insane. 34 seconds left. I am scared. Leafs win. Overall thoughts. Very solid game overall. Like, genuinely impressed. We do need to fix the bottom 6, though, again.
Yeah.
Incredible stuff. Thank you, Aria, for those. That was
Thank
incredible. That was a
you.
joy to read through. That was my first time reading through those notes, I will say. So it was an adventure. I
Incredible
feel like
stuff.
I can picture the game perfectly on how everything happened. I don't know about
Oh yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I was there in person. It's like we were
Yeah.
sat there watching it next to Joseph Wall.
You wish.
Yeah, I do.
Um, I will say also as well, Matthew Knies with his goal in that game against New York gets 25 goals on the season. Also, he has 150 hits. He is the only the he is one of 3 players this season in the NHL to have that combination of stats. The other two, do you know who the other? Have you seen this?
I
Do you know
have,
who
but
the other two are?
I can't remember who the other two are, and I've got a feeling I'm gonna like crash out when you tell me.
Tom Wilson and Brady Tkachuk.
Oh my god. Matthew Knight.
I mean, that's not bad company. Both those guys have been NHL All-Stars. As much as I like to say that maybe you shouldn't always be sending Tom Wilson to All-Star games because Ovechkin doesn't want to go, but maybe I'm just a little bit cheesed about Dylan Strome not
Yeah,
going last
maybe
year,
I'm
but
just
that
not
could just
thinking
be
Dylan
me.
Strome. Well, if it's just you, it's also just me, so. Matthew
But
Knight.
yeah,
Matthew Knight.
yeah. So
Jesus.
congratulations. I will say though, John Tavares, I mean, I'm like he's 71 points back of being a point per game player in the NHL at his age. Hockey Hall of Fame.
Yes.
That's my opinion, but yes, that's a huge career milestone. And if you want to know where the belt is at this point, it's just been going back and forth between the goalies, in
Yeah.
case you were curious.
It's it's their belt now.
It's their belt now. They've stolen it. But yeah, I mean, I did get a laugh though from the video that the Leafs posted of like the belt handoff after this game, where
Yeah.
Wool was like, "Oh yeah, good job, career milestones for Willie and Tavares, but this is gonna go to Stores," and you can hear the like, like,
Whoa.
like,
Like
ah,
Fog Founding Kitchen.
like these two are just going to keep.
Oh, I love our girlies, man. I love them so much.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, I'm smiling. I just thinking about them.
But yeah, now we go off. The Leafs are in Nashville taking on the Predators. Just Wool gets
I
to
wish
start
they
against
would.
UC Sorrow. I actually watched most of this game instead of watching. It's been Saturday night. It would have been. Actually, no, wait. I'm mixing up my days. The reason why I didn't watch Toronto, New York is because that game was on a Thursday, and that was the um like that was the TMU Montreal game that went to quintuple overtime,
Oh
and
shit,
then
yeah.
quintuple overtime was a thing that I had to experience. Never want that again. And you may be like, "Oh, but Emma, isn't it fun?" No, you get sick of it because it's 5 periods of scoreless hockey. 5 periods of scoreless hockey. I was tired. It would have been fine if there wasn't another game that had to happen after that.
Mm, like you're
So
sat
the
this whole
Ottawa,
time being like, someone please score.
someone please score. Yeah, literally just like please score. Um, and then you know, and then, well, because Ottawa wasn't, like, their game got pushed back till 9. And that's why I didn't watch the New York game.
Mm.
So I was like, well, I'm going to watch this and try not to forget. And that game also ended up going to overtime, but Ottawa won.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. They really did. But yeah, Saturday though against Nashville, that game was on during another U Sports game, but I was half watching it like on my phone. Um, Leafs open strong in the first period. They get 2 on the board early because of Marner and Tavares, I want to say. I don't have it written down.
Yeah.
Was it Tavares? Yes, it was Tavares.
It
It was Marner and
was.
Tavares. And then after that, it all kind of falls apart really quickly. Michael Bunting, which I think this game served as a reminder for a lot of people where Michael Bunting is. He is in Nashville now. He has returned from his appendix surgery. And he puts Nashville on the board, opens the scoring. And I honestly was like, I expected it because Michael Bunting has scored on every team he's been on against the Leafs since leaving the Leafs. Like king of, it's not even revenge goals either because like 95%, like not even 95, 99% sure Michael Bunting still loves every guy on that team that he played with because it's Michael Bunting.
Yeah. Bunts.
Oh, Bunts. But yeah, like when he was with Carolina, scored against the Leafs. When he was with Pittsburgh, scored against the Leafs. And now that he's with Nashville, scored against the Leafs. And it just then all sort of falls apart from there. Toronto just starts making some really bad defensive mistakes, and it shows.
Yeah.
Fellow former member of the Leafs organization, Kiefer Bellows, Marley's legend, he scores.
Yeah.
And I honestly, at that point, I was like, oh, who's next? Ryan O'Reilly? But no, the Leafs were too bright for him.
Yeah. They were dazzling.
The lights were too bright. Lights too bright, Ryan couldn't score. But then Luke Evangelista scored. He has a connection to the Leafs, though, because his uncle is Brendan Shanahan. There's some familial relation to Brendan Shanahan.
That'll do it.
And as soon as he scored, they panned to Brendan Shanahan. And I was like, fine, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, Scott Laughton, like, with this game, the Leafs did have the chance to move into first in the Atlantic because Panthers and the Lightning both lost. But like, and I have this written down, is this something that Toronto wants? Because would you rather face the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round or the Ottawa Senators?
I don't even know who I'd want. Ideally, neither.
But it's like almost like the enemy you know versus the enemy you don't. Like the Leafs know they can beat Tampa in the playoffs. Now this isn't this exact same Tampa Bay Lightning team as the one they faced 2 years ago and won. But it's a very similar one.
Yeah.
You could argue it's a worse Tampa Bay Lightning team as well.
Yeah.
So
I think I would probably rather Tampa just because, well, I mean, the Leafs don't exactly have a good track record against this ends. And I don't want that in the playoffs. I want to stay far, far away where I'm not thinking about them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But like it's one of those things where it's like, Toronto has struggled against Ottawa in the regular season now for a while, since last year. But like, I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like Ottawa just always seems to come out with more of a hop to those sorts of games than Toronto does. And it's one of those things where you wonder if maybe in the playoffs that'll change and Toronto will turn it on, but you never know.
I really want to experience that.
Yeah, like I don't know if that's something I want to like,
Live through.
yeah, like if I want to find out
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
not. So
Either way, we're
either
gonna
way,
be stressed.
yeah, yeah. Scott Lawn had a great game defensively, and he almost got on the board in this one against Nashville, but then his goal was called back for very obvious high stick.
Mm.
But he said it was his best game as a Leaf so far, so we'll see. You know, it's one of those things where I think people are like too quick to jump on it because it's like you expect it's sort of always hard to, you know, kind of rationalize the expectations of being successful right off the jump.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so I don't know if you have anything else to say about the Nashville game. I don't know how much you watched it more than I did.
Yeah, it was again, it was in the background because I was doing work. And I think I hit a point where I was like, this is miserable. Like I it was just frustrating because they started off so well and then it just all went to shit. And I was like, guys, this is Nashville. Wake the fuck up. What are you doing? It's the 24th, 25 post trade deadline Nashville fucking Predators. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was there was a lot of frustration.
there was a lot of frustration, yes. And I also think, you know, people were very critical of the team after this game. Some of it, yes, like you should be critical. They obviously didn't play their best game, but I think there was also a level of like, hey guys, like sometimes you are the better team, but you're the you're the best team. You're the better team who doesn't play the best.
Mm.
And it's very obvious that Nashville just played the best out of those two teams, and sometimes that's what happens. And it's like it doesn't mean that the Leaf season is magically over because they lost the Nashville Predators.
No.
Like they're still in a playoff spot. I know they had the opportunity to put themselves into first in the Atlantic with this one, but you know, we've still got time left this season.
Okay.
Like I just think that like there was a lot of like unnecessary like panic. You can be frustrated and you can be annoyed because they didn't play well, but
Yeah, literally, it's like I came out of that game and I was like, yeah, that was horrific, but whatever. There's always gonna be another game.
yeah, literally don't do it. Don't do the same thing against Philadelphia on Tuesday. Which leads me to talking about Philadelphia on Tuesday.
Yeah.
The Leafs are going to receive a visit from the Philadelphia Flyers on Tuesday. Expected to kind of have the same. So the lines based on today's practice, same top line of Knies, Matthews, Marner. Second line is going to be McMahon, Tavares, and Nylander, which works. Love that. Scott Laughton's going to be on that third line left wing with Domi and Robertson. And then the fourth line, I gotta just make sure I pull it up and get the order right for everyone in that one. Is going to be Lorenz Holmberg Yarncroke with Camp maybe subbing in with Holmberg quite a bit. Defensive pairs stay the same. And yeah, I just like Brandon Carlo has been so incredibly effective for the Leafs
Hmm.
since they've acquired him. And I think a lot of people have been like, hey, like, you know, you can't just keep trading guys to find a partner for Riley. Like maybe at one point it's Riley who's the problem. No, I think this is fine. I think I like that we acquired Carlo as a partner for Riley. I think that's great. He works great. He's a little bit more of a meat and potatoes stay-at-home defenseman,
Hmm.
and is willing to block shots and be physical, which allows Morgan Riley to play a little bit more of his game, which is slightly more just of slightly more offensive, a little bit more puck moving, and I think they work great as a pair. I think it was a great pickup as much as I will miss Fraser Minton.
Don't. You've upset me again now.
I do think it was a great ad. I think, that addition of Carlo really has solidified the Leafs blue line now. All of those guys there have term.
Yeah.
Which is huge. And then that allows you to kind of build a structure over the next couple of seasons of, okay, so next year, if you want to make another run at it, you address your forward group at the deadline or in free agency. Like, Brad Treliving has really built this team from the net out over the past couple of years. Like, the net was the first thing to get solved, and solidifying Joseph Wool's place in the tandem in the NHL, and also as well then signing Anthony Stolarz. There's your net. There's your goaltending solved.
Yeah.
And then now, like, he's worked his way slowly out through free agency this season with, Tanev and Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And now here you are through trade, like, and extending Jake McCabe. And now here you are at the deadline this year. You address the issue of getting a little bit more defense, and you've got Brandon Carlo. There's your blue line lockdown. Lawton adds to your forward group, but there's still, I think, I'm not saying this group can't do it. I do strongly believe this is a group that can go all the way. But if you want to build into having that winning team now for the next couple of years, Lawton was a good start to add to that forward group, but now you just got to keep adding to it.
Yeah.
There's still some little holes in the bottom six you can fix, and maybe you want to add more to the wings, but you have a really solid group there, and it's just now depth additions at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Philadelphia on Thursday. Philadelphia on Tuesday. Not Thursday. Philadelphia tomorrow on Tuesday. I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. Philadelphia on Tuesday. And then the Leafs go on their California road trip, where they are going to be playing San Jose, LA, and Anaheim. So Thursday's game is going to be a late one. That's a 10:30 puck drop because it's in San Jose.
I'm not going to lie to you. I will be asleep.
I'll stay up and watch it. My 8:30 class got pushed back till 9:30. That's a win. That's a win. Hopefully I'll have I have slept off like what this weekend's been, but
yeah.
By that point, but yeah. Some other news as well around the league. I don't know if you have anything else to add about the Leafs.
No.
I don't think we're missing anything.
No.
Yeah. We can jump. Oh, well, Max Pacioretty skated on a sheet alone today. He's on LTIR right now. He's not eligible to come back or be activated from it until April. But yeah, and then but he did skate on a sheet alone.
He lives.
So yeah. That's just some more Leaf Stream. But other news around hockey, there's actually, it was announced this weekend that WHL will be expanding with the BCHL's Penticton V's joining the Dub next season for the 2025-2026 hockey season. They will be having an expansion draft for the V's on May 7th. I actually I don't know how that's going to work. I have to do research into how a WHL, like how a CHL does an expansion draft, because I don't know how that works. But yeah. Also as well was announced that Chilliwack, BC will also be getting a WHL team for the 2026-27 season. So that adds quite a few number of teams to the BCHL, to the WHL, both of them located in British Columbia, which some people were saying, oh, well, that, kind of adds more teams around southern BC. So, that lessens the travel, but, that doesn't, shortening those travel distances between teams in around BC does not make Saskatchewan any smaller.
No.
Like, that's still a huge stretch. Is that, like, if a team is coming out to, going out to Brandon, Manitoba or Winnipeg is still a huge drive. But yeah, some other news, more so in the CHL, the OHL playoffs have been decided and I only want to mention this because I personally think this is crazy that they managed to do it. The Owen Sound Attack have made the playoffs and will face off against the London Knights in the first round. Someone please save Carter George.
I'm just going to tell them with.
Yeah. But yeah. OHL playoffs, 2 teams that didn't, like the Sting didn't make the playoffs. Guelph didn't make the playoffs. Ottawa 67s didn't make the playoffs. And I think there was maybe one other team that didn't make the playoffs, but I can't remember now off the top of my head which team it would have been. Oh, Peterborough. Peterborough didn't make the playoffs. But everyone else obviously did. So yeah. Yeah. Some other news in around the NHL, at least. Pat Maroon announced his retirement at the end of this season. He's announced it during warm-ups when the Chicago Blackhawks were in St. Louis against the Blues. Pat Maroon is from St. Louis, so fitting.
Yeah.
And also as well, there's been some injuries. I think the biggest one, or the biggest story at least, about those injuries has been the fact that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl have been out for multiple games now at this point due to injury. It's been a very long time since the Edmonton Oilers have been without both McDavid and Draisaitl. I saw a lineup from the last time they were both held out of the lineup, or like they both missed a game on the Edmonton Oilers, and it dates all the way back to 2015, 2016, like that season. And I was looking at some of those names, and half of that roster is not in the NHL anymore.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I was looking at that and I was going, oh boy, that's tough. And I've seen some Leafs I remember the Leafs lineups from that time, from that season, especially. That were a little tough. I mean, I know there's more NHL hockey news that I just am like not remembering. Like, I feel like there was definitely something that I wanted to bring up that I've like totally forgotten. But like, in my defense,
you've been a bit busy.
I've been a bit busy this weekend. Oh, also, it's just been announced that from Patrick Alvin that Thatcher Demko has been activated from IR. So,
hey, he's back. That's good.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. Oh, yes, there's been some teams that have clinched the playoffs. Washington Capitals are one of them.
The San Jose Sharks are not.
No. No, they are not. But yeah, the Washington Capitals have officially clinched a playoff spot. Winnipeg, I think, has a shot to do it tonight, I guess, still. Also, as well, the Chicago Blackhawks have been eliminated from playoff contention as well. So, hey, they can book their vacations and get the early bird deals and not have to worry about booking last-minute flights. So, I see that as a win.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's what's important, I think.
You gotta get yourself a nice holiday.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a good deal. So, yeah. Sorry, Connor Bedard. Enjoy your holiday. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anything else has happened?
I'm trying. I don't know.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to think, but my brain is just scrambled at this point of the year. Weird that I
Oh,
think.
imagine how my brain is.
Yeah, you're. Sorry, I had to yawn. Yeah, I don't know how you're still here, to be honest. You're pretty scrambled. But yeah, what an episode.
Yeah.
It was fun. It did feel weird not recording for so long. It threw me.
Yeah. I was
I
gonna
didn't
say
like it.
it's been a week. Because like even though you guys heard from us on Wednesday, that was recorded the Sunday before we recorded last week's Monday episode.
Mm. So it
Um,
really has been a while.
it has been a while, yeah. I was even gonna like bring well, no, actually, because like even in the PWHL, no teams have clinched the playoffs. Montreal had an opportunity to do it against Toronto this weekend, and Toronto won. So
Mm.
Victoire did not clinch a playoff spot. So
No.
yeah, I mean, I've just been so U Sports like pilled this weekend. I've been thinking about U Sports too much. So yeah, I mean, I guess we can end it here. I feel like smell right place to end it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Mm.
I'm like trying so hard to think of something and
I'm
I
scratching
can't.
my brain, and it's not.
I'm coming up with nothing right now.
I got nothing.
Nothing. Um, like even thinking, I'm like, was there like a tweet that I like threw into my bookmarks? No, there's not. So
Slow.
yeah, I guess we'll, you know, end.
And here.
Yeah, I guess we'll end it here.
Mm.
Um, yeah. Sorry, I'm so out of it. We'll be back on Thursday though with another episode to talk about, I guess, the game against the Flyers and whatever hockey news happens through the week. I don't know. It's like hit that
Mm.
time of year where there's not much happening because like most guys really aren't signing contract like extensions right now. There's no trades that can happen. It's like that weird
Yeah.
stretch between the end of the like trade deadline and the end of the regular season where like playoffs start, where like the games matter, the hockey is still important, but like also like
Mm.
but yeah, I guess we can end this episode here. With that being said, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with another episode. Remember to go. You look like you want to say something.
I don't know about Thursday because I'm running the seminar, and that doesn't finish till 5. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll figure it out. If anything,
We'll make it work.
if anything, we'll pre-record on Wednesday, and episode will come out on
Yeah.
Thursday morning.
We'll
But
make it work. This is my last busy Thursday because my hockey season ends this weekend, so I don't have training anymore.
anyways, we'll be back with another episode.
Well,
Um, we'll be back with another episode on Thursday. In the meantime, yeah, go listen to our interview with Victoria Bach. You can watch the video version of it on YouTube. We posted that. or
Yeah.
you can listen to the audio version if video's not your thing, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, I know on the video version my camera quality is terrible. I have really crappy Wi-Fi in my apartment to the point that even like it's not like my webcam, it's my Wi-Fi connection is why
Yeah.
it's so blurry. I've already been had people tell me, be like, Emma, like it's bad. I'm like, I know it's bad. It's not like I've
Wi-Fi.
already had people say to me being like, we need to get you a webcam. I'm like, it's not the camera
That won't
quality.
do
Like
anything.
it's literally it's the Wi-Fi in my apartment that's really bad. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, with that being said, go watch it there. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you also as well nominate your Blorbo of the year
Yes,
for
do it.
the our
Nominate
shows.
your probably right now.
Go nominate your Blorbo of the year. You don't need to hear the end of the end of the show. Just go nominate your Blorbo of the year. But with that
Yeah,
being
I
said,
want
thank you
to make
guys.
my Canva graphic.
Yeah, go. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back on Thursday. In the meantime, you can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow the show on Twitter at From the Fourth Line. That's number 4. That's fourth with the number 4 TH. So you never miss another episode. Um, Also, we're associated with Offside News. You can follow Offside News on all social platforms at Offside News Co. Or you can read all the articles that get written for the site at offsidenewsco.com. Um, yeah, also between episodes, because I know it was a while between these episodes, but like if you really think we're hilarious and you really want to hear more from us about beliefs or hockey or any other topics, you can go follow the two of us on Twitter at 60 Leafs for Marcie, at PairB1 for myself. But yeah, I think that's all. I said everything, didn't I?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
smashed it.
awesome. In the meantime, though, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back on Thursday, and go Leafs go.
Go, Leafs, go.